Namaste and welcome to today's live 3 hours later than usual because I had 2 confirmations in 2 different churches to sing to today. So we have a lot to look into today. What is today's energy? How is that opening the week? What is the numerology? And what to expect? Like a little prediction, of course, as usual, with today, the good tarot, right here. And I was guided to connect with the divine feminine, divine masculine reunited. Not because of what the deck is called or anything, it just wanted to talk today. So we are going to listen. When I woke up this morning, the energy was calm and yet energetical. Then a few hours passed and it was like, it's time for some introspection. It's time to go deep. It's actually time to be quiet. And I was like, oh my God, I can't live up to that today. I'm going to sing at 2 confirmations and I'm going to do the live. Also, we are going to pick up 2 glass cabinets that I've bought for all of my crystal. So we have completely done the living room around. Like, it's really nice, but the interior design is changing a bit here. So it's like, what's up with that? Why did I plan all of that today when all I really want to do is be quiet, do nothing other than really just sit and feel? Because we're not meant to. We're not meant to get caught up in our own inner world. We're not meant to not feel or not be thoughtful, but it is simply to not be possessed by it. Allow ourselves to feel, write some stuff down, maybe meditate, maybe take a nap in between. But there's this energy that says, yes, this is how it is today, but don't let it own you. Own yourself and your own processes. Today is the 26th of April in the year 2026. So of course today there's an emphasis on the number 26. When we reduce that, we get a number 8, balance, right? Without going into anything else, we can just look at the number 8 and know that it's an even one that's shared between 2. So we also have a union number, and maybe that's why I was called to take that deck with me today. Not a thought I had until now, but the thing is that when we look at the number 8 and that it's about union, what we need to understand is that it is head over heart or heart aligned with head. It can also be soul united with physicality. It can be so we don't let any part of us get the favorable place, but that we allow a balance between everything that we are, which is emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. How do we bring everything together as who we are? How do we bring soul into body? How do we bring body up to soul? How do we allow ourselves to feel if we have a constant negative mind pattern, thought pattern, or if we have a constantly like arrogant thought pattern about, oh, I'm so amazing, and is that really in alignment? We are not necessarily to study each aspect of us because it's a lot to take in, and that can be quite overwhelming. But whatever shows up for you today, allow it to be and listen to it. What messages does it have for you? If I am to really just, as I'm sitting now, see, this is the brilliant thing about going live and doing all of this. I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about until I press record. I've never prepared for a video. The only thing I might have looked into before is the numerology. That is figuring out what today is about, like 2604 or 0426 2026. What do these numbers add up to? That might be the only thing I've ever looked into before going live. The beauty is that I sit here and get just as stunned or amazed or surprised at the messages that are coming through. I haven't even thought of them before coming live. That's why it's so important for me to be here with you guys as well. And I can tell you that once I'm done recording, I re-watch the video I've done, because there's also information in it for me. I'm sharing it and watching it with my husband, which is nice, so I have someone to share it with. But when I do these lives, I also get messages. They're for all of us. And sometimes when it's channeled through me, I don't hang on to it, which means I don't really hear it. So when I re-watch it, I also get the messages. So today we have the emphasis on number 26. The 26 as a number speaks into success, stardom, like being a pro at something, being famous, being known for something, and how that connects to having money. So money and fame is the number 26. But 26 is not all we see today. I just like to look into it because it's the year and it's the day. But when we add all the numbers up, remember that we're in the 10th universal year. We have the 26, then we have 36, and we add the month, which is 4, we get a number 4. But if we calculate it in a different way and say 26 is 8, 2 plus 6 equals 8, plus 4 is 12, plus the year that is number 10, we get a number 22. So today we're going to be looking into both these numbers, number 22 and number 4. When we look at the major arcana in the tarot, there's no such thing as number 22. We do have a number 4, which is the Emperor. So again, a highlight or an emphasis on the masculine energy as the king, as a leader, as someone who dares to go first, maybe also as a guide, someone who takes everything and everyone into consideration before making a move. But number 22 is more significant. Why? Because it's a master number. It's talking about mastering yourself. Mastering your own process, mastering your either descension or ascension, depending on where you're at. 22 as master number emphasizes the number 2, which is, in the major arcana, the High Priestess. With an emphasis on that, we have 2 of number 2s. We see a significant emphasis on the female spirituality. That, I can say, is something I have really felt today. Who am I as a spiritual being? Who am I as a spiritual guide? Who am I as a spiritual teacher, consultant, etc.? But what came to me when I sat with this just before coming on, I sat outside, had some lunch, very late lunch for me, and I was thinking, I'm not important. What I share is. I'm not important, but the channel that I happen to represent is. I don't feel insignificant. It's not the same. But again, if we get possessed by our own importance, our own position in the world, we only grow the ego bigger. I bet you don't want to do that just as little as I want to do that. So it is more a question today about how can you be everything that you are in the most beautiful, powerful, feminine way, because you as a female, you are that. The power of the High Priestess for you. How can you make her count in this world without being possessed by the fame and fortune maybe that it brings? Can you still keep your feet on the ground without getting your head in the clouds? Can you be clear on everything that you are and everything that you represent without letting it possess you. I also believe that that's one of the reasons why I don't sit and prepare for any videos. I want to be raw. I want to be natural. And I want to be pure. Would it be pure if I had sat with all of this preparation, prepped everything to say, written in my own manuscript? Would it be real? Or would it be more like acting? I can tell you, I tried once because I was planning to make a video for my website. So I sat down and I wrote a manuscript because this is what I want people to know when they come on my website. It didn't work for me. It did not work for me because I'm not an actress. I'm not into presenting something that way. I want to be raw and pure in the energy. So maybe you have somewhat of the same feelings today. Something that you are being presented with, pushed towards, something that you cannot avoid today. Something that really wants your attention. Is it something about how you are in the world? How you present yourself to the world? But definitely something about not being owned by what you do and turning it into an identity, but just being in alignment with it. Then we're back to the number 8, being in balance with it. I'm sitting right here next to all of my crystals. I have this huge glass box and little spaces filled with all of these crystals. And again, I haven't really used them a whole lot. My husband uses them a lot. He places different crystals around the house every now and again. Or change them, or, you know. And today I felt called to bring one. Here it is. It's a desert rose. The desert rose, when I sense into its energy, is a reminder to the feminine, to the female, of our vulnerability and our beauty, that even a rose can grow in the desert, meaning you might not have had the best circumstances, the best environment to be everything that you are. But you're still the rose. You still have something important to bring. And vulnerability is meant to be protected. It's meant to be kept safe. And that's where the Emperor comes in. We need him to do that so we don't have to be everything, but can be what we're meant to be and live in peace and vulnerability, because your vulnerability is beautiful, just like the desert rose. So I'm placing it back on top of my tarot cards. But the energy this week starts off with this. So I predict, I expect that we are going to be challenged with that. To not let our egos grow out of proportion, to not identify with whatever circumstances are around us, or maybe even being challenged with our past life experiences and past life environment. And I'm not talking past lives, but from yesterday and back, right? You in the past, that might be people showing up like family, friends who've known you for years. And you might be challenged. That can mean that some people might want to come and like poke you and see, are you going to react? And just remember, breathe and go, I am actually not that important. What matters is what I bring. What matters is the voice that I speak with or sing with. What matters is how I love, how the energy that channels through me, how I use that to be productive, efficient, loving, caring, nurturing, whatever it is. And of course, that can only channel through you as you, because you are you. And that means that we're never ever going to present the same, because we're each different. And when the energy comes through, it comes through in your way, how only you can present it. That makes you perfectly unique, just as you are. And this is not about, oh, now I'm going to be on social media and tell everyone how unique I am. You can definitely go on social media and share every beautiful thing that you are. But it's not about being unique in a way that can be utilized negatively. It's about being unique and understanding what it actually means. It doesn't mean to be successful or have a lot of money or look a certain way. Being unique, everyone is. That's a given. That's a birthright. It's in the very second that we stop being that and we start being like everyone else and just following the mainstream. That's when we've lost. And that might also be what you will be challenged with this week. Michael and I were starting to make our videos for YouTube now. And it is so incredibly important for me that we don't do it as other people do it, but we do it in our own rawness, purity, and authenticity, just as we are. So, with that said, let's just dive in, shall we? This week is, I do feel that it is more of a time to be introspective, thoughtful. Not as in full of thought, but compassionately caring for yourself and others, those around you, the people who show up in your close proximity in whatever aspect. And of course we get the Mary Magdalene here. Mary Magdalene is number 1 in this deck. It's like the major arcana in the deck. She represents the goddess of strength, which also reminds me, remember to check out the new event calendar, because I will be making goddess workshops. Even if I also had the thought today, maybe I should change it. It's like goddess workshops. It's actually more about reflection of the different feminine aspects. What we can learn from our ancestors, the women who went before us, right? Okay. So, Mary the Magdalene. Let's see. Number 1. And it says, I've come forward to speak about the divine feminine energy of strength. Women are innately strong, but are also designed to have times of introspection. In your time, many women have learned to be pillars of strength, never faltering in their resolve, moving forward day after day, never feeling safe to let down their guard, to take a moment of solace, to soften and ease into their natural goddess cycles. It saddens me when I see people feeling unsafe to be in their emotions, unsafe to be anything other than a pillar of strength. Women are naturally designed to be aligned with cycles. Due to the current state of the functionality of your day-to-day life and society, there's no system set up to allow for even temporary crumbling of the pillars. Working through menstruation, returning to work shortly after losing a loved one, no downtime. Working jobs that are soul-crushing, never providing satiation of passion and inner needs. It takes strength to deeply feel, to allow yourself to be held. It is a different type of strength to that of being an unwavering pillar. If you pull this card, you are at the forefront of changing this paradigm for society. Returning to feeling, returning to softness, emotion, a balance of strength and femininity. Once again, I can say, you cannot make this up. Bringing balance. And like I said, I woke up feeling a lot of energy that just wanted to be productive and do stuff. And all of a sudden, the energy just kind of, it's like a balloon losing its air, right? And I was like, I've actually just wanted to be silent. And yes, to not be the pillar of strength for everyone, like females, as the card says, often are. But instead, like when I came back from church, I was tired. I haven't slept that many hours last night. I think I got 4 hours, 45 minutes-ish, something around that. Maybe just 4.5, really. And I just wanted to lay by my husband when I came home. And he's sitting in the office working on making his videos. And so we have a day bed in there. And I just went to lay down and, tuck myself in under a blanket. And just being in his energy field was enough for me. To just go, exhale. Right? And we need to remember that, to give ourselves that. I am right now going through menopause. I don't know if it's the specific stage, if I know which stage I'm in, really. I think it's number 2, though. But does it really matter? What matters is that we are changing as women the older we get. And it is important that we have someone who's older than us who can talk to us about what they went through and to tell us that, you know what, it's actually very normal to have brain fog and joint pains and whatnot. That means that it's also important that we are that for the younger women, those who follow after us. It is also important that we are acknowledging all women on whatever stage that they're in. If they are in their teens, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, if they're going through establishing families or making babies and having babies, or if we are facing becoming grandparents all of a sudden, which might not take that long for me, really, before I'm in that space. And I can tell you, I can't wait to have little babies in my home again. But it is to just honor what we are now going through, but also what other women go through. That we can have compassion and hold space. And to learn that, we need to give that to ourselves first. Beautiful. I'm going to put the Desert Rose right on top of Mary Magdalene. And then, as I said, I decided to go for the Good Tarot. There is a need for this introspective energy. No, that was wrong. Okay. To be thoughtful of ourselves and have compassion, as I said, but it's this remember to breathe kind of energy. Remember to take your time. Don't hurry. Take your time. And not to be morbid or anything, but what if you died tomorrow? Would you have lived your best life? Did you do with today what was important for you? Or did you allow other people to control every single minute of your day? Even if they weren't around you, maybe it was because you're following a group on Facebook and they tell you what to do and what not to do. Or you just simply look at all of your friends on social media and they are perfect. All of them are so perfect. They lead the perfect lives. And you feel the need to live up to that. And none of us can live up to that. But like this morning I was thinking about when I'm starting to make the videos, I was actually thinking about making something like behind the scenes, inviting you into my life. And I can tell you that my house is always tidy because I cannot have a mess. It bothers my head if everything is messy. But I only clean once a week. And I don't even, it's like, yeah. And if I don't make it today, I'm going to make it tomorrow. You know, it's this, earlier I would push myself like everything had to look and be perfect always. Now it's more like, yeah, well, it is what it is. Because I think it's important that we women, we share with each other, right? Because it is so easy for us to feel that we're not successful, we're not enough, we're not good enough. Like when I read an article that said that 83% of all women worldwide don't feel good enough on a day-to-day basis, I'm like, oh my God, no wonder we're so tired. Okay, we have 4 cards, and at the bottom of the deck we have 9 of water. 9 of water. This is a beautiful one in my favorite Thoth Tarot set. The 9 of water is happiness. I would like you to pay attention to her face. And you don't have to be a body language expert to understand what she's expressing. Because see, the thing is, you instinctively know. Can you see her face here? Does she look like she's in a hurry? Does she look thoughtful? She looks soft, doesn't she? The way she holds her hands and she leans her head against it, it's like she's thoughtful, but she's also compassionate. She's soft and wondering maybe, or there's this, notice how that's actually what's popping out now. She's looking at a fish. She's looking at something that shows up in her energy field or in her aura, or, you know, just in front of her face. It wants, like I said, it wants her attention. Like I said before, there's going to be something that wants our attention. And it's, I don't even know if it's a fish actually. But when I see it today, it is. Again, another powerful thing about channeling, because nothing's set in stone. A card can mean 1,000, maybe more different things. Might have a foundation in something, right? This is water. This connects to our emotional body. There's a female on it. She's a mermaid, by the way. Whether you believe in them or not, there's something about the mermaid. She's soft, isn't she? Highly, highly feminine, right? And she can lure any man into the water. This here is something about seeing things differently. The advice is, I hear, to look or gaze at your life and through your life with wonder. I wonder what this is. I wonder if this thing that I'm seeing sees what I see. There's a hidden beauty, a hidden treasure in acknowledging our uniqueness, our differences. And instead of judging, being curious and wonder about that person or about that thing or about that situation. And right underneath that, I really need to show you this. What a beautiful coincidence. Then we have the 10 of water, which is in the other Thoth Tarot called satiety, like to be, or satiety. It's about being full, being content in such a way that you cannot want more. But in this connection, it is to not be overwhelmed by everything you start to see. There's something about your vision changing, your lens, your perspective is changing, and you might be absorbing, or we might be absorbing, a whole lot more this coming week. Nine of water at the bottom of the deck. A hidden truth or hidden surprise or the hidden treasure. Then what came out was and showed itself to me first was the Ace of Fire. So much passion, ignition. I almost said focus, but it's not correct. See, here's a warning. The cards can mean 1,000 different things. There's a warning, and the warning is when you start a fire out in nature, in a spot where it's very dry, it can be hard to focus the fire in one place. It might run off and start a forest fire, right? It is, oh, see, I love this. Can you see all of this up here? It actually, it looks like smoke, like a lot of smoke. And when you light the fire in your heart, when you can feel your passion, when you are ignited, like really turned on by something, you're motivated and engaged and inspired, and you want to do all these things. Remember that you make sure that you don't burn out or you don't burn others on the way, that you don't burn your surroundings with all of that fire that you hold. So when you ignite, you get patience as well. So it says to remember to be patient, take your time. And apparently this is of the essence. Take your time. Don't hurry. Better to be safe than sorry. And all of this is just coming through. It's so funny because the Ace of Fire, which is a 1, add it with a 14. Patience, you get 15, which is the devil. So I could definitely see how if we get caught up and possessed, like I said, possessed by this energy, it's not going to be good. We're going to have to own it so it doesn't own us. Then we get the 7 of Earth, which here is symbolic of a new project, a new path, a new adventure, apprenticeship, learning a new thing or new things. But there is, again, just like with this one, and I feel this for everyone, a change of perspective. So when we acknowledge the beautiful feminine strength and power that we are, and when we allow ourselves to relax and not try to make everything so bloody perfect, we get a different perspective on everything. When we become really feminine, everything around us changes. Why? Because when we change in here, everything also changes out here. Because everything we see out here, when we experience it in here, is nothing but an inner projection, which means you are the one who identify your reality. You're the one who analyze your reality. You are the only one living in your reality. The more we change, the softer we get. And that's what the 9 of Water told me today. To soften the gaze, to be softer, and then look at the world again and see how that makes a difference. So also pay attention to how he here has wings over his eyes, and he's looking at this little fairy right there. You see her? He has an open heart because his shirt is open and it shows his bare chest. Okay, I just saw something that I need to address because all of a sudden I see claws holding on to his shoulder, like something or someone wants to hold him back. That could actually also be that that fire that I talked about. When the ego gets too big, it's going to hold us back and it's not going to bring us forward. But here, he shows up with the Empress right behind him. Like this. He's not paying attention to her. He's looking at the little fairy. And where he's open, she's more closed off. But what I love about today's cards is that, of course, I'm gonna share a picture in the group afterwards. Let me see if I can hold these so you can see what I see. They show up like this. Beautiful, earthy colors. Even if we have the orange here, or maybe even a bit of yellow, we're still connecting to the 3 lower chakras, right? We are very much in the root, in the sacral, and maybe a bit in the solar plexus. We're guided to ground and calm, like in calm down. Come down. And also when it comes to soul, like I said with the number 8, let the soul come in. And the soul can't come in when we stress in our physicality and we're not sitting still. But there's something about, I need to sense into this. Because it's almost like he sees something like, okay, don't make yourself too available. Like I actually see, like notice this, I don't know if you can see her, but she's almost like, ah, oh, here I am, look at me. I'm wonderful, I'm magical, look at me. It's an illusion. Because right behind him is the Empress. So, and she's not an illusion. She's very strong, collected, and connected, like to herself, to the world around her. She's highly fertile, right? And it's almost like there's a message to the men as well. It's this kind of, don't be whimsical. Don't be whimsical. Ground yourself. But for us here as women in this group, it is very much, don't be that to a man. Don't be his illusion. And it's interesting because I was thinking about, again, while I was eating my lunch and before coming live, there's this, the only reason why men can be touring from one woman to the next, to the next, to the next without end is because we allow them. It's so important for many women that I especially see, on social media. That, oh, look at me, I'm amazing, I'm wonderful, hey, here I am, look at me, look at me. And then she's attracting all of that masculine or male attention. Maybe not even masculine, but a lot of male attention. But it never actually gives her what she needs, because what she needs is to feel safe and provided for. Touring men do not give that. Not even a little. And yet, women do it over and over and over and over and over again. And then they cry their eyes out afterwards. We allow the illusion to happen. We become the illusion. We partake in the illusion. And now we are being called, when we are patient with ourselves and we really allow this beautiful softness, that's when we can allow everything in that we want. Everything. But we need to find that we are the Empress and be patient with yourself while she grows, right? Maybe she's the one coming down into you when you're patient and you're calm. So when all of this fire starts to happen, it might mean that you fall in love. Like you're swept off your feet. You're more than willing to be his illusion. And then, don't. Be his queen. Be the Empress. Be the one that demands his patience. Be the one that says, I am not just a new project. I want to be your lifelong project. No, not a project per se, but you know what I mean. But just like this, I know I connected it to something about relationships, but that has been coming through a lot today. Something about how we perceive each other and how we as women, like it was more in terms of, I was thinking about the goddess workshop next weekend, and I kind of like want to call it something else, because even if we are the empress or the queen or whatever, we're not only that. We are more than that. And that's why I was like, that's why this group is called FeminaFlourish. This is a pathway to blossoming, to enriching your life and enriching the lives of others. Not to be something that burns and burns out or creates a heck of a lot of smoke. Or burn the house down. Don't burn the house down this week. But allow the passion to come in, but be considerate, be thoughtful about how you spend your energy resources, about who you're reaching out to, who you're connecting with, and who you're letting into your life. Because it's not everyone who should be allowed to come into your beautiful life. Not everyone deserves it, unfortunately. And test them, but remember, you are connected to her. She's an ancestor, maybe not physically, but definitely spiritually. She understood Jesus because she loved him. She easily understood him, and she easily followed because she felt him in her heart. When you can allow yourself to be open in your heart and love, you're open to their wisdom, to their guidance. And again, a warning to choose wisely. Choose with your soul. Your soul knows best. Grounding, connecting to earth, maybe walking outside in bare feet if the weather allows, like it does here. Connect with people who will help you and support you on your way. Be mindful. Don't allow people to turn you into an illusion, and don't walk with it. Aboard that ship. Is there anything more? Yeah. All of these numbers together. We have an ace, 1 plus 14, that's 15, 16, 19, 26. Isn't that amazing? 26 reduces to number 8. Balance. Work-life balance, soul-body balance, emotional mental balance, balance with other people, balancing, especially this week, your energy so that you don't burn out, but also so you don't burn others. Okay. Marvelous week. Marvelous week. I want to end with this image. Gaze with curiosity and wonder in your softness, in your beauty, and in what is light. Like, it looks so easy for a mermaid to swim in the water compared to us with legs. Yeah. There's a hidden treasure this week. beautiful gift you definitely will receive when you are patient, not allow yourself to be delusional, but grounded, gazing with softness and introspection. Have a blessed week, starting with today.